Sage Wanderer here, and I'm here with a buddy of mine, the guy that sold me my house. And I know a lot of you are interested in how I got that cool shed house out on my property, where I picked it up from, how I bought it and all that. So I thought I'd do this video and talk about that. And plus, so this is also an announcement. The studio building that my friends had that I thought I was going to get, when push come to shove, it was kind of impossible to get it out of there without dismantling it. And so they decided that it was just smarter for them personally too, and I didn't know what I was going to do with it. If they took it down in pieces, they're just going to demolish it, because it's got trees grown around it that would have to be taken out to get it out whole, and fences would have to be moved. So that freebie kind of evaporated. But I'm back here at the place where I got my house, and I'm going to look at a couple of options for a studio that's going to double as temporary housing for my son, who's going to be coming out here with me from Oregon and coming back to Texas himself. He's a native Texan, born in Dallas and raised in Weatherford, and we went to high school out in Canton. And so anyway, we're looking for a place that he can occupy that will also be a studio. Now, he currently lives in a studio in Oregon, and he has a room in his mom's house, and he sleeps on a couch. And if you look at his room, it's not a bedroom, it's a studio. So we're looking to do that, except here we're going to get him a pull-out couch so he has a genuine bed to sleep on, or a futon or something. We're going to figure out something that is a studio couch that also makes a better bed for him. And you know, then eventually we're going to add a third building, which will just be a standalone studio, and this will end up being his house as well. And so that's the plan. And so we're going to look at a couple of them. Now here's one choice in these smaller buildings. Oh, let me introduce you to somebody. Everybody, this is Edgar.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Edgar is the awesome guy that that's been helping me from the very beginning out here, and I think they're going to help me out with a discount for promoting them a little bit, so I got to be 100% honest there. Yeah. But I was actually gonna interview this guy anyway, because you know, we've had some cool conversations, and before this video's over, we'll talk a little bit about all kinds of stuff, including politics and religion, the stuff you're not supposed to talk about. So I'm gonna try to be cameraman and show you this particular one. You want to open it up for us, Edgar? We'll walk inside. So this is one that has a loft option. Whew, I'm a bad cameraman. I have to do it this way, like a selfie. There we go. And so this one's a 12 by 16. I'm not crazy about these doors, but they'll get the job done, and it would cost me time and energy to have one built with different doors, but I may consider that. But what's happening here is I'm doing some shopping. You know, they allow me to basically do a rent to own on a monthly deal with no credit check, because I have musician's credit. Don't. So, you know, what can I say? I don't have the best credit. Well, part of that is I've lived my life on a cash basis and didn't participate in the credit system. So, you know, but because I own my own property, and if you own your own property, you can get the same deal. They'll just put it out there for a basic down payment, get you started. And we'll talk about the details of that. But this is the one we're looking at. This has a double loft. Now, the pros on this one are the windows are way bigger. Windows are way bigger, and they're double pane. So that's better. That's an upgrade on the one I have now. I do like the loft system for a studio setup, because with the double loft, there's one behind me and one in front of me, there at the front of the building. There's always gear with a studio. There's guitar cases, there's you know, there's boxes that the mics came in and stuff like that, and you got to have some place to stow it. So that's one option, is to get it up off the ground and up into a gear loft, which I kind of think that's cool. Reminds me of my days at Guitar Centers. They store everything up in lofts. And also there's the option to have your bed up there and a studio couch down here, which means if you didn't mind sleeping in a loft, you could have that portion for a bed, and this other loft over here can be the gear loft, or the storing of the guitars and whatnot, and things that you're not currently using, cases, whatever. And but this is going to double for him as a studio and a place to live. Now, downside is that he would have to, really in this one, he has to put his bed up there, And then this down here would be where we would put our speakers and our mixing, station, and all of the recording hub. The control room would be right here in this end, and then we'd have this open space in the middle, and this back by the door here would be where we'd have to put a couple of chairs instead of a couch, and he would sleep in the loft. So that's one option. And so go ahead and show me. We're going to look at another one that doesn't have a loft. And what I'm going to do is this is partly for my son to look at and partly for you guys to look at as well. But I did have a question I was going to ask Edgar.
Yes, sir.
So I own my property outright. And what if somebody has a mortgage or something like that? Is that going to be an issue? Are they going to be able to do this too and just sign and get one, basically taken out on the cheap?
Gotcha. So I mean, if you have a mortgage on your property, the taxes are still going to be in your name, right? At the end of the year, you get like your tax information. As long as your name is on the tax form for the city, we should have no issues at all.
Cool.
So, yeah.
So this is an option for anybody who owns their land, whether it's paid for or not. And so my concerns with the loft version is that it causes you to not have a studio couch, but it does give you the option of sleeping up in the loft if you want. So we're going to look at one of these in the same size. That was a 12 by 16.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to look at a 12 by 16 now that has a side entrance. Oh, did we pass it?
Yeah.
Or is this it?
This is a bigger. This is a 12 by 20.
Oh, okay. So
and we can look at that one too as well. But this is a 12-16 double loft.
Oh, this is another double loft with a side entrance. Oh, this may be the best of both worlds. I didn't know we were looking at this. So let's check it out. Even if it's a single loft, if it has... See, with the side entrance, we can put a couch at one end and the recording system at the other end.
Yeah, it's double.
Oh, yeah, no, this is the one. And it's taller up.
Yeah.
I like that because Justin is 6'5". So he's going to want some... And this has the tall walls, right?
8-foot walls.
8-foot walls.
Yep.
I'm thinking we found the right one here. I don't know. What do you guys think? And I want to show you a couple other things, including a cool chicken coop device thing they've got. I think is kind of cool. But yeah, in this configuration, we'd have the double gear lock to put our stuff up there. It would also give him the option to sleep up there if he didn't want to sleep on the couch. But then he could have this, should turn this sideways, but I'm not going to spin you sideways right now. We started up and down, we're going to go up and down. But yeah, put the couch along this wall and put the studio equipment along that wall and have the double lofts for gear. I kind of dig it. I think this is space he could occupy. It's got the high walls. The walls are actually higher than mine. They've got a lot of room on top. I want to talk about the construction. Oh, where are we at, by the way? This is backyard storage.
Yes, sir. Backyard storage.
Now, do you guys make them here or do you just sell them? I know there's two different companies. One handles the rental and then you guys handle the sales. How's that work?
Well, we have a company that just builds our sheds. And it's all built at a plant, and then they all get shipped down here, and then we sell them out here.
If you were to go to another backyard storage, would you get the same kind of houses built from the same stuff?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir, 100%. Mm-hmm.
Now, this is a great option for someone to have an extra room, like a studio, and you could probably get away with that in most jurisdictions using a studio, a building like this for a she shed or whatever, a man cave. If you intend to live in them and make them a residency, you better check the laws in your local area. I happen to be lucky enough to live in a county where there is no building codes. The only rules are water and sanitation rules. So as far as what you live in, they don't care. You can live in anything. But that may not be the case in your jurisdiction, so you should check your codes before you buy one of these expecting to live in it. But I think you can use this for a lot of things, from a man cave to a studio or whatever. But yeah, I'm really digging this one. What do you guys think? And let's look at the money on this. Whoop. I'm learning to be a phone cameraman. I really should have started on the side because I have this tiny window. Hey, everybody. So it's looking, everything's probably gonna, here we go. So we're looking at $5,102, but you said there's a sale going on right now?
Yeah, there's a 5% sale going on right now. So it's 5% off this price.
Okay.
Sure.
But as you can see here, if you finance this for 24 months, you'll have a much lower finance charge, and you have $300 a month payments. And I think that my son can swing that, and we'd like to do the shorter one. When I did mine, I did the 48 months, but thanks to you guys, I paid it off in less than 30, like right at 30 days. So mine's paid for, and I didn't have to pay any finance fees. And maybe this will happen again, some miracle will happen, you know. Of course, there's another parent involved here, and this is to help my son, and also so that he and I can have a studio, because we're gonna make that hip hop record. He hates it when I call it hip hop, but I don't know, they're calling it country trap too. So I don't know. We're gonna do this country rap record, and we gotta have a studio. Plus, I think in the long run, if I do it right, a studio could pay for itself, and I could make that payment there pretty easy, just maybe recording other people if I get the right gear. But you know, recording's not always about gear. Sometimes it's just about your ears and who's producing you and how the music is made. And recording is getting easier because the technology is getting more widely available, and it's, you know, the technology we have in handheld recorders now is more than they used to record the White Album by the Beatles. So we got this one, and then let's go walk over and look at the chicken coop.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's way over there.
So when I first met Edgar here, you know, we started talking about the channel, and it didn't take us very long to realize that we were on different sides of the political spectrum when it came to Trump, right?
Yep.
And having just come back from Oregon, you know, I was expecting, I don't know, like, almost went like, okay, well, shoot, I got to find some other place now, you know? But he was so awesome about it, and we talked about it without getting mad.
Yep.
And, you know, there's this big mystery for me. Why is it that some people can disagree like me and Edgar but still be friends, right, and still do our business and not let it get between us, right? And some people can't. Some people, you bring that up and it's fighting words to them.
Yep.
But I think I might have figured it out on the way over here, Edgar.
What do you think?
You're a believer, right?
Yes, sir.
So maybe it's a Jesus thing.
Yep.
Maybe those of us that, you know, have that religious cultural background are more forgiving and more, you know, able to let people have their own opinions and live and let live. And but I want you to know I'm working on red pilling him. He's pretty red pilled, honestly. But you know, I think the wall is divisive. I mean, isn't that what a wall does? Is divide. But I think we have different opinions on why the wall is being built and why it should or shouldn't be built. And but yeah, I mean, I think that maybe you heard for the first time that my concern isn't Mexicans.
Yeah.
My concern is that there's this global conspiracy to flood America with people that are desperate and don't have any education. And most of them, 90% of them nowadays, right now, are coming from Central America, and some of them from as far away as Somalia.
Yeah.
So that was like kind of news to you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when you talk, you know, that's how you get to understand each other and your different points of view. But one thing we can agree on, I like chicken, right?
Yes, sir.
Like fried chicken?
Yes, sir.
Well, I need chickens at my house, and I do have an issue with predators where I live. And one thing I like about this is if a guy had to come along, I think you could drag it around too and move the fertilizer around in an area, potentially, the way it looks like anyhow. But if not, either way, if it's just set up stationary, there's this cool chicken coop, and I'm coveting my neighbor's chicken coop. But I had to show you guys this. It's one of their shed buildings, kind of. But see, it's for chickens. You know, I got a house for me, got a studio, gonna get a studio for my kids. Hey, I need a chicken coop. But let's look at this thing. It's got the gambreled roof. It's got the wire mesh to keep the chickens in and the predators out, more importantly. And then I guess you can access it here.
Yep.
That's a cool screen door. All right, well, this one's been used.
Yep, this is a pre-owned, but we can get you a new one too as well.
All right, so these aren't that cheap. This is some chickens that better be worth some money because this one's pre-owned and we're looking at $29.79.
This one's 10% off too as well.
Oh, so get 10% off of that. It's like 26, something like that.
2,600, yeah. It's an 8, but it's an 8x24. And the cool thing is that you see this thing right here.
Yeah.
Okay, so when it gets to a certain temperature,
This opens up?
Yeah, it automatically opens up You don't got to
Whoa.
touch it, no nothing. Once
How
it
does
gets,
that work? Is it pressure?
I don't understand how it works.
It's got to be like the pressure inside builds up and it pushes it open, or I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but once it gets to a certain temperature, it'll open up and let the air come in and cool off the chicken so it doesn't get too hot.
Man, that's for some fancy chickens. But hey, this is inspiring me. It makes me realize I could probably build a cool chicken coop, but probably can't afford this one, but you might be able to. And I'm telling you what, this is going to keep
Here.
There you go. This is going to keep the coyotes and the coy dogs off your chickens. That was one of the biggest problems about trying to raise any kind of... Hang on, it's a Harley. That was one of the problems trying to raise any kind of fowl out there where I live, is there's just so many predators. But I think I've ran them back. I think just me being out there has made them not come up to the front of the property anyway. I hear them in the back more. But anyway, so Edgar, thanks so much for showing us around. Give us your information here if somebody wanted to come down here to Azle, Texas and get a building from you personally.
Okay.
You know, what's your contact information?
So we're located at 10050 Jacksboro Highway, Fort Worth, Texas, 76135, and our office number is 817-752-3500. You can either ask for me, Edgar, or John. Either one of us here will be more than happy to take care of you guys, and come on by and mention old Sage Wander, and we'll get you a good discount, guys. All right?
Well, you heard it there. If you're looking for a building, he'll fix you up. I don't normally do this kind of stuff, you know, but I was going to do something positive for these guys anyway, because I rolled in here desperate, living in a shed, and they got me a roof over my head in like 20. They would have got it same day if I hadn't went, oh, I got to think about it a little bit, and had to go pray about it. But they got it for me the next day after that. And so I only had to spend one night in a tent, and most of it's because of Edgar here going the extra mile and helping me out. So they really deserve a shout out. And I do absolutely love that he and I don't agree, but yet we can agree to we can agree to disagree and still be agreeable. Anyway, once again, this is Sage Wanderer coming at you from Backyard Storage, and I want you to tell me what you think as far as a building for my son goes. Now, this is probably going to be relying on him to pay for it, and he does Uber Eats, so he should be able to make those payments on this building, and he and I will do the labor to finish it out, and maybe if we get our record done, we can get somebody else's done and save some money there, and maybe get paid off early. I don't know. Tell me what you think in the comments section. All right, God save our republic.